Record for us here. We're gonna get our live set up on Facebook, so bear with me. How you guys doing? You good? Give me the thumbs up, some of you. Staying alive. It's been a little bit crazy these last couple of days. I feel like finally we're seeing some reaction from a lot of different governments that hasn't happened yet. So we're about to hit the major wave right now. That's what I'm seeing. It's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out. That's why this will be a good meeting today. Okay, we got Facebook Live set up and going here. It's awesome. Welcome you guys for joining us over on that side. A few more people checking in really quick. We keep this on speaker view here so it's not too weird. Share my screen. Yo, Sam. I'm gonna jump in here. Awesome. Recording's going. All right. 1 minute before the hour, we're going to start with the bonus minute as you guys get today. So, hey, these free webinars, the series has been going on now for just over, 2 weeks or about 2 weeks of time. This is number 8 in our series. We do have them all nested. I'll give you guys the link in a second to be able to access them, but they will be changing just where they're accessible and explain that as we go here. I really want to just say thank you for you guys showing up to these. I often get asked the question, and we often talk about, because it's been a little bit of an obsession for myself and for my wife, Jenna, over the last years, on what is it that makes the difference between a yoga studio or a business, any small business, but a wellness business specifically, that's killing it, we would say, one that's doing extremely well, and one that is just killing their dreams, we would say. So, and honestly, I think that in our industry, times like this highlight how much the truth of the matter is you can know something or not know something. You can be like a Facebook marketing guru, or you can have a huge Instagram following. One of the things I find, like the dark side of me finds minorly comical, even for lack of a better way to say it, are all of this sort of social media, Instagram, TikTok influencers in the wellness world that are suddenly super struggling just the same as the rest of everybody. Like this is like leveled the playing field all of a sudden. You can have been in business for a while. You can have a good lease rate. You can have a great yoga product or hit class product by your opinion. None of that shit matters half as much as your ability as the owner to take action. That's why we called our Yoga Business Summit last year the Launching is Everything Yoga Business Summit. Taking any action and making anything happen is always going to result in something more powerful for you than doing nothing, or than even the best plan that's not fully, come to fruition. So I bring that up just to preface this whole conversation today, that you guys just showing up here, looking at your business, thinking about how to do this, even if you've done it because you're feeling like this is straight up survival, dude, that's where we're at, or you're doing it proactively, it doesn't matter. The fact that you are looking at your business seriously and taking action on it tells me that you're setting yourself up for success. It's really the only difference. So, the big takeaway from this point, I would say at this moment for all of you, is just what can you do right now? Like taking action is going to get you some results, and stay flexible. This is a very fluid sort of time. You're going to keep updating what you're doing. It's not going to change. We're going to talk about that a little bit more as we keep going here. But the big thing, my comment earlier about this being like the big wave for a lot of us in North America, it's coming now. It's going to be the next month. The internal memo from Canada is we're shut down through June 30th. The Netherlands officially is all business and everything are closed until June 1st. the states, state by state, we're finally starting to see the stay-at-home orders come through. So we've been saying this for the last week, feels like an eternity. I'm not saying this to be scary or whatever else. What I'm saying is this isn't ending really that soon. This is not something you're going to calibrate to permanently, but this will fundamentally change the whole industry, as we've been saying in these webinars. And right now, at this moment in time, we have to realize that there is another, I would say, 6 weeks minimum that you're going to experience having to continue to develop what it is that you're doing. And I would predict that those of you who manage to continue to take action and continue to develop, you're going to be the ones that not only survive this moment in time, but I'm looking at more like the 6 months to a year after this is done. That's the time frame that's scary for me for a wellness business. I'm just being straight up with it. That right now, surviving this, that's one piece of the puzzle, but you got to have enough steam on the other side of this to ramp back up. And we got to get through the sort of economic downturn and social psychology or fear or whatever else comes out on the back end of this as well. So I'm not saying that to be scary. I'm saying these series are going to help you. You guys got this, and I'm applauding your efforts to just show up and actually participate on these levels, because in the end, that's really what's going to do it. Okay, let's jump in here a little bit more. So we always like to start with some win stories. Now that we've talked about the end of the world a little bit, what are the win stories that we have that are going on? We've been talking a lot about some really powerful, exciting things that have been going on as a result of this. My favorite win story that I've got to say is I got an email today, and I also got a text message from a business yesterday. They were almost identical in terms of their sentiment. Neither of them are part of my group. They were both just saying, I closed, everyone's laid off, I haven't done anything yet because I had like that panic moment. I've been crying for 3 days, but today's the day I'm ready to take action. Like, I'm ready to do this. That's a huge win story, because all of us are dealing with things. You can watch a show when I go. You know, all of us are dealing with this difficulty, and it's realizing that the only difference, as to the point before, that's going to separate the pros from the amateurs is who's actually going to continue to take action and just step up to the plate. This is the real test of your yoga superpowers. This is the real test of the wellness product that you offer, of your studio, of your community. This is the test right now. So stay positive, realize that this is some weird, twisted blessing in disguise for you, because this is the test to prove that everything you've been preaching, saying, talking about, believing, and up to this point is true. And you get to experience that, which is awesome. So a couple quick things. Today's the last free webinar that we have on the books. We might add some more in there. You can access the recording of these webinars off the website. They're still free there. There's nothing special you have to do to get them. But let me chuck them into the chat for us here. So here's the quick link if you want to go back and watch the other 7 other than this one that we have as well. And big heads up, my team and I have been grinding away. I spent like 15 hours a day just over the weekend banging out videos and getting them to film for us too. We've built you guys a ultimate survival guide, the ultimate survival guide during social distancing course. So it's got 15 plus videos, 20 plus high value assets like emails, checklists, scripts, so on and so forth. If you are a member of the Yogapreneur Collective, this is just going to be dropped into your Yogapreneur's library of videos that we have. It's totally free. Everything's in there. If you're not currently a member, this is going to be a pay what you can option. So we're very aware that all of you are where you are. You get to literally set your own price with no minimum to access this course. I'm also going to roll the recording of all of these webinars and the assets that we have with them as well as part of this survival guide. So that 15 is actually going to become over 20 videos as well, just for access there. So just a heads up, those of you who have been participating in this, if you put the selection down that yes, you do want to receive the recordings of these and email contact after about this, you're going to get an email on this. If you said no, you don't want to receive contact afterwards on the free stuff that we're giving out, send me an email and we'll send it to you. So you can still opt back in as well. Okay, There's the preamble. What are we talking about today? Mostly we want to talk about online marketing and preparing for the future, because those are the questions that are starting to come up. We're like, all right, I've got my feet under me. Like, what do we need to do next? What's going on? So let's jump in with online marketing to begin. This is a weird looking slide, but oh well. Organic social media right now is something, and Mara, I know, is on the call. So Mara, if you have anything to add during this time, you can unmute yourself afterwards. But organic social media is something that we're like kind of talking about, but it's one of those things that as a wellnesspreneur, you probably previously weren't super pumped on, maybe anyways. And now amidst all the other stresses, it might have like moved down your list of priorities. I'm here to tell you that organic social media in general should get bumped up your list of priorities right now. You want to have more contact, more stuff going out, not less. Not only now, but also when we're looking at this plan for the future, because you've got to think that everything you're doing now, as we've been talking about, the theme is, it is to set you up so that you rise like a phoenix from the ashes and your comeback story is epic and fast. Because the one thing that we stated in the beginning here is, even if this is over in 1 month, 6 weeks, 2 months, whatever, it doesn't matter when, it's not going to just overnight everything goes back up. There's going to be a lag. So the things that you do now are going to benefit your business in the long run. And in one of the ways that it's going to benefit you is to shorten that lag time as tight as possible, so you see action and interaction very quickly and your business ramps back up when this is done. Social media is one of the free, that's the thing that we forget. For all the complaints, people, Facebook is sharing data or some shit, or Google algorithm doesn't like me, or too many people on Instagram are showing their butt, or I don't care what the friggin' complaint is. It's a free place for you to put any kind of content you want out where people can see you and interact with you. If you have been in the game for a while like me, go back like 10 years, 15 years, and it just like didn't even exist, basically. So versus where we've been, it's a massively powerful tool, even if it's not super your jam. It's just showing up as a brand. So what are the things you can do? The first thing is, I would have some sort of gamification or challenge, both now, and I would plan one for when you're going to reopen as well. So a gamification or a challenge, it could be like a literal challenge that you're just using social media to help promote, like a bingo style thing or whatever. But it would be powerful for you to do simple things like check in every time you take a virtual class with us, like post a picture of yourself or a quick 10-second video of yourself practicing a virtual class with us and tag us and get entered to win something. Share, here's would be a big one for your reopening. Make a really awesome video about how you've survived this and how you're here to help your local community in this special event you're having, whatever. And then reach out to all of your members and make it a game that if they share that post to their personal pages and tag people, they're entered to win something epic, like whatever, a whole year or whatever else, so that you hack the algorithm for free and you get a lot of participation on there. So gamification and challenge. Number two is that right now is an opportunity for you to bank your posts. The reason why social media is stressful as a wellness entrepreneur is because you are trying to do your social media in real time. Anyone that you see online, except for Gary Vaynerchuk, because he's got a team of 27 people under him, except for him, anybody else, anybody who you see winning on social media is not posting in real time. They are posting, like, at least 75% of their stuff is pre-scheduled posts. They are banking content and scheduling it out for the future. That's how their volume is so high. So realize that right now, I bet you have an hour a day, or you have an employee who you want to keep employed who has an hour or two a day where you can be creating and banking content for your social media channels. I would consider sitting down with a member of your team and just having an hour discussion right now. Okay, we don't know when we're going to reopen, but at that moment, we want to be all the fuck over the place. I want every channel that's possible. I want 2 posts a day. We want all of the awesomeness going on at that moment, right? So if that's true, what are the 3 primary messages that we want the public at large to know about us at that moment in time? That would be one of the things that I would be looking at. I think I managed to mute everyone. Someone's got some sound coming through, so just check your bottom left corner. We're hearing you type away. Okay, in any case, so get those 3 message points dialed in, and then start creating posts that are basically saying that. It can be a video, it can be just a picture, it can be the write-up. Like, start banking that content. Just imagine for a second, like, not only right now should you be posting at a high frequency, but also imagine if right now that over the next 6 weeks, somebody spent just 1 hour a week. So we're talking about 6 hours of total time over the next 6 weeks. You or someone on your team just sits down and bangs out like 10 posts. The write-up, finds a photo that makes sense, maybe does a quick video of themselves, and just puts them in a file on your computer or in Drive, and they're ready to go. And then when you know you're going to reopen, you go into your scheduler and you schedule them out. And then you have 2 or 3 posts a day that you don't have to do anything with at all. They're just going to launch at that moment for the next 6 weeks of time-ish when you reopen. Imagine how powerful that is. And then when you supplement that with going live or doing a real-time post in your stories and stuff a couple times a week, now your stress level at that moment is low, but your local market where all of your competitors are friggin' sleeping because they're not doing this, you are dominating in terms of being seen. So that's what we're talking about here. That's why this is a bigger potential benefit to you than you might realize. Then the final thing here, and I'm going to check your guys' comments as we go here. It's hard for me with the screen share to do all at the same time. So the other thing here is live stream. Live stream organically gets more interaction. It organically has the algorithms promote it a lot more. We're at a time when people are online. I literally, every single time I open my Instagram, it's just like such and such is live, such and such is live, because I'm following a bunch of you guys. So there's a bazillion live everything. Live streaming, it's one of the clear ways to establish brand because of the authenticity that's attached to it. So I would be live streaming right now quite frequently, just in general. I would also be planning what are my planned live streams. So just like we're saying, banking posts and scheduling them out, you can't bank your live streams, but what you can do is say, here are 6 subjects that I'm going to live stream about that are really on brand for me. And I'm going to pre-schedule that when we go to open up, I'm going to go live every Tuesday at 5 and cover these subjects. But you've eliminated all the thought process around it. You've already got the schedule plan. Then you literally just have to do it. So it becomes really easy at that moment. So I would be planning on that as well. Live streams right now, I think also it's harder to cut through the noise of the live streams, but I think that it would be a really good idea to be going live at a pretty high frequency. Okay, let's pause and just check. I don't want to make sure we don't forget any of these. So they're also nested on YouTube and Facebook. LaDonna says yes. What's also nested on YouTube and Facebook? Oh, the stuff. Thank you, Mara, for posting that in there. Yeah. 3 post types to start with: value, updates, and tutorials. Yeah, so if people are wondering, like, what do I post right now? Mara's our social media whiz. She's saying, like, something that's valuable to them right now, an update for what's going on, tutorials on how to do something are the 3 examples of the 3 points. Well, value would be, hey, I know that you're stuck at home working online. Here's a 10-minute stretching routine, you could say. An update would be like, did you guys know that we now have 32 videos in our video on demand bank for you to access so that you can do a home practice, including these other things? Check it out. We're going to be opening up on this date, whatever. Those are the updates. Tutorials are pretty straightforward, but the outside of the box on tutorials is do things that are still under the umbrella of sensicalness for your business, but at the same time are maybe not a normal tutorial you would do. So the example would be like, hey, here's how you make the hail to the kale salad. And if you guys don't know this salad, go look it up right now because it's literally the best friggin' salad ever. So you do like a cooking tutorial all of a sudden. That's still on brand for you in a lot of cases. How many posts per day? Right now, Tracy, I would be doing 1 post per day per platform would be a good metric to be trying to hit. The thing about posts is the number of posts, and you're not asking the wrong question. In general, in our industry, we ask the wrong questions sometimes because we're asking how many posts or whatever. The real question is, what is our goal? What do we want to create by posting? And the answer is you want to create engagement. So the number of posts are relative to the engagement that you create. The way that you look at this would be if you post every day, but the post is just, hey, here's our schedule, and there's nothing else for me to engage with. So your engagement level is low. Even if you post 4 times a day, if the engagement level is low, it doesn't really do anything for you. 1, 2, you are training the algorithm on most of these platforms that when you post something, it's shitty and it shouldn't show it to other people. On the other hand, if you posted once every 3 days, but the post was a quality post and people interact with it, it will continue to gain traction for the next 24, 48, 72 hours, depending on the platform. And that trains the algorithm that says when you do post, it definitely makes you, like what you're posting is quality and people want to see it. So show it to more people. So the real question here is the goal is engagement. How do we get engagement? Post something engaging. So go through the effort of making the posts engaging in some way pertinent to what you actually do. What scheduler do we recommend? I would recommend looking at Planoly and Later. Those are my 2 favorite. There's also Hootsuite. I think it's, I don't know. I don't like it. Lots of people like it. I don't like it. Later, Later, Planoly. I don't know how to spell it. Planoly is how it's spelled. Exactly. Kay was just asking 3 quick message points. So when we're talking about what are your primary message points, yeah, I mean, Kay, the other way you and I have talked about this lots in the group too. When we're talking about what are our primary message points, what are the actual brands? Or what are the branding points that you want? So let me reword that. That doesn't make sense. What is it that if I was to consume your content for the next year, at the end of the year, what are the 3 most important things that I will understand about you? And then how do we take those and make them on point for the time that we are in? So if you want me to understand that stretching is an important element, if not the most important element in your opinion on how to maintain a healthy body, then you would make posts coming out of this that are talking about how we don't realize that there has been a lot of stagnation in our lifestyle as a result of stay-at-home orders. And now that you can come and move again at my hot yoga studio and do stretching because it does these things for you, you need to get the heck back in here. P.S. Intro pass, right? So that's sort of an example that the 3 points would be. Okay, just checking really quick. You can answer at the end, streaming live Facebook, Zoom now. Oh, yeah. How am I streaming live? So in Zoom, you can turn it on in your settings at zoom.us. And then in the dashboard control on the actual meeting that I'm on right now at the bottom, on the right-hand side, there are 3 dots, more. I just click there and say stream live to Facebook, and it's pushing it over to Facebook for me. You can go live to Facebook. You can go live to YouTube directly from Zoom. You can also use a code from Zoom on a meeting like this to go live to a live streaming platform using an API key. It's a little more technically advanced, but the reason why that matters is that if you're using something like restream.io, which allows you to stream to multiple platforms simultaneously, you can go on Zoom, hook it up to Restream, and then blast out to every platform you have, assuming you have live streaming there. So there's some potential there. Okay, let's keep going on this stuff. I'm gonna jump in a little bit more. The second big question is paid social media / online pay-per-click. PPC means pay-per-click. Should you, shouldn't you do it? Yes, you should. Is this a good idea? Yes. Why? There are a few reasons for this. Here's the most important reason, basically the only one that you need to know, and I'll answer it in 2 ways. One, if we're talking Facebook, Instagram, stuff like that, the algorithm is built to promote a human interacting with another human. It is not built, and in fact is detrimentally or penalizing in some ways, to have a business interacting with a human. And that's because they make their money through ads. So when you run advertising dollars on your social media like Instagram and Facebook, you expand your reach in your local market insanely. It's really speed. You can just do it through organics, yes, but organics versus paid, you're paying either way. You're either paying in a lot more effort and time, or you're paying in dollars. You have to decide what the plan here is. We'll get to this a second on the next slide, but coming out of this, speed is going to be of the essence to some extent for a lot of us. So paid is something you want to start planning around. The other thing is, right now, at this moment in time, paid advertising, pay-per-click stuff is a little bit cheaper than we've seen it in the last couple of years, because a lot of bigger players who are usually putting a lot of money into that market have pulled their ads out because they're off brand right now. So it's possible that you can get a result for a little bit cheaper than we normally would. And already it's by far the best efficient spend of ad dollars. Now, the question is, what do you actually run as an ad? This is about branding. So right now you would run things like anything that's on brand. Hey, this is what we're doing. Did you know that we're doing this for our community? Stay safe out there. Here's a heartfelt message from the crew at Nomad Yoga Studio to you guys who live in Nomadville. Like something simple like that. There's no ask in it. So the money is just, it's not going to go down the drain, but the money is not going to be put into that message to attempt to get a click through. It's going to be in an attempt to get branding, to get your brand in front of people. You could run stuff about your virtual classes. Hey, it's really important. Here's how to stay healthy during social distancing. You have to do these 3 things. Drink a lot of water. This is one thing we're not underestimating. 2, keep your mental state good by doing things like breathing exercises and meditation practice. And 3, keep your physical body healthy by moving it. Don't let it stagnate. We're offering virtual classes on breath technique, meditation, and whatever. Price is only this. Check out the details here, or get your first class free. Link, click. So that's what you could be running right now. The big thing is brand recognition comes through repetition more than anything else. Marketing is an exercise in memorization, my friends. So if you're running stuff right now in your local area and none of your competitors are, because they're approaching this as fear and that they have scarcity and aren't going to make it through, then you will dominate your local market. Let's say like a 5-mile radius from your studio. It's possible right now for you to absolutely dominate that bubble in terms of your brand showing up multiple times for people and everyone else looks like they're sleeping. I would predict that that's going to matter in 6 months from now. So that's the bigger play. It's more like a branding play. This being said, I'm not talking about spending thousands or tens of thousands of dollars. I'm talking like throw down 20, 30 bucks a week on this right now. It would be a starting point, right? $5 a day is like the ultimate metric that you're sort of getting towards. So we're talking about 600 bucks a month that you're sort of going to ramp up towards as you go. Obviously, this depends on your current cash flow and personal situation. I'm not telling you that if you run paid ads right now at this second, it's going to result in you making a ton more money right now in this second. That's not the point here. So if this is going to put you at risk, be smart about it. All right. And then building for later. So what should we do, in terms of paid ads for later? If it's me, this is just my straight up opinion. When I go to reopen, I want to have my brand in front of everyone around me, that I'm open and going and stronger than ever, like as much as possible. And I want everyone around me to understand that I have a special, powerful brand proposition for them, value proposition for them, that they need to come in and participate with me ASAP. I want to disrupt the market. So if it's me, I'm starting to plan out what are the message points for when I reopen. I'm going to have a little video on it. What's the funnel I'm building? So when someone clicks here, they're going to go to a sales page, or they're going to opt in like this, or do I have a special offer, or do I have an event, or anything else? I'm going to build all of that stuff right now and just have it sitting ready to go, because everyone else in your market who is not doing that right now, which is most of them, is asleep. So if you're ready to go and all of a sudden we're like, yep, we're reopening as of this date, you reopen and you push the go button on that with a few bucks behind it, they're still scrambling, trying to get a message out, and you're the pro looking place. So that's what I'd be looking at. Same thing, branding. Some examples of what you would plan for later, like, hey, top reasons to participate in your specific practice that you offer. That would be a message. What your intro is. It's one of the few times that I would say, like, I'd just be running, hey, we've got this intro, make it maybe more aggressive than normal. And some sort of like, get rid of the lockdown body. We've been in lockdown. You've heard of the freshman 15. What about the lockdown 20? Like, here's how you deal with, I don't know, something like that. Make it comical even, but just go right for it. And then people always ask audiences. I'm not seeing in the chat just yet. For audiences, these are your top 4 audiences in general for social media as a wellness business. I'm just going to straight up give them to you. A wide audience around you. Okay. So like your physical location plus the bubble, maybe you adjust your demographics slightly, but that's it. It's pretty friggin' wide open. That's just to like billboard it for people. Custom audiences, these are things like your mind body list, your members list, your 10-pack people list, your top practitioners list. Make those custom audiences, run ads to them, especially if those are people who have not been participating with you virtually, but they were a major member of you before. You want to get in front of them in every possible angle out there. Lookalike audiences, obviously really powerful. And then retargeting audiences. That's probably I would start by building a bunch of remarketing, retargeting stuff. So having your pixel or your tag on your website, people who visit there, follow up with a sequence of ads. Those are the audiences that I'm saying that you would focus on out of the gate. All right, let's just check really quick here. Music licensing stuff. Yes, yes. Share Spotify playlists. Compression, searching, twisting. Question. The view that takes over the screen as the host, is that pin? This is a Zoom question. Yes, that's pinning. And then spotlight is making someone else take over the screen when you're using Zoom. Unlikely people will Google yoga in Milano these days. Yeah, Casa Yoga is making the point. Like, people aren't Googling that. So that's exactly why right now, like even when this is over, so we're going to go into sort of the future stuff here now a little bit. Even when this is over, you've got to think in terms of, and you can do things, you can use like the keyword planner in your Google Ads. You can use a bunch of other key search things, or you can literally just go to Google and type in a phrase that you would normally think people are searching for. And you know how it pops up and gives you the other phrases? Google's telling you, related to this phrase, what are the other things people search for? So those would be your keyword phrases that you would run an ad towards normally. But the point is, in Keyword Planner, you can see the average search volume in real time. So whereas 4 months ago, people might have put down yoga near me or yoga in Milano or best yoga studio in Nomadville, they're probably not searching that right now. When you open back up, are they suddenly going to start searching that again? Maybe not. So what are they searching for instead, and run your ads to that? That would be one of the thoughts. And pay-per-click allows you to do that. You can put those keywords in. So you're not just depending on the organic nature of people searching. You can sort of hack the system and get out in front a little bit. Another example of that is a total tangent. When we're talking paid ads, I'm just going to put on your guys' radars, like, YouTube, dude, is way underestimated for a brick and mortar business. You can put a 15-second non-skippable video ad of yourself in front of people who live in a radius of your studio. Like, that's powerful. So if you're a gym or a HIIT studio or something like that, especially where you're like a little more 50-50 split, male, female, for that male crowd, I mean, I can see some of you, if you're a dude on this call right now, put up your hand if you've been on YouTube in the last 24 hours. Yeah, every single guy. Okay, so this is exactly the point. Coming out of this, if you want to get a message in front of men because you've got a bunch of like sort of male-centric classes or something going on, and that's a good market for you, I would be all the frick over YouTube in your local area. That would just as an example. Okay. So the future, you know, when you reopen, I think that speed and consistency are the keys. Speed in that you want to get stuff up and going as fast as possible so you get people coming in as fast as possible. consistency in that there will be some studios that sort of come back with a big hoopla of, we're open again, come in and do your yoga practice and that sort of stuff. I think that's going to happen just organically without a doubt. But you watch, they're going to do that for the first week to 10 days. People are going to have a leg coming in, they're going to lose steam, and they're going to quit. And then they're going to say nothing for the next 30 days after that. So consistency is your friend. Ramp it up and then stay at that ramped up state for like 8 weeks after you open up. Don't stop. Repetition, repetition, repetition. So those are going to be your friends in terms of your basic philosophy of approach for your communications as you're going. So here are quick things. The first thing is, for prepping for the future, the caveats are, you can't kill your cash flow right now. So don't go all in with a bunch of huge expenses right at this moment in time. Just start to plan for it, and don't kill yourself. We had a whole meeting. We had Audrey come on and stuff in these webinars. If you guys are new on this webinar, go back and watch those. Just, if you burn out, you're fucked. If you run out of steam and you can't keep going when you come out of the pandemic side and you're in the ramp my business back up side, you're in real trouble. So all of these, yes, but the caveat is take care of yourself. Have a day off, take your weekends off, whatever else. Slowly plug away at this. Don't stop. But I just have to put both of those on your radar. Don't run out of cash completely by going in too fast, and don't burn yourself out so that you can't do anything after the fact. I said at the start, I'll say it again. The businesses that are in the most precarious position are not the ones who are on the verge of closing right now. They'll either close or not. They're the ones who are going to squeak by and make it through this, but can't survive the following 6 months to a year. That's when we're going to see a lot of effect here. Okay, so what do you do though? What can you do? What are actions you can take right now that are going to future-proof you? They're going to amp you up for the future. One, start improving your online classes and offer more value so that you can offer more value afterwards. The one thing that we're forgetting is that a lot of this stuff, we've been in a really reactive state. But if you teach an online HIIT class today, as long as you don't say COVID-19, you don't say pandemic, you don't say lockdown, you don't make it time related in terms of your language right now, if that HIIT class is good, is it still good in a year from now? Of course it is. So start improving your online classes with the thought that at least a certain percentage of them need to be valuable and usable for you later. Because now then you're creating a library, and the whole value of your whole business is going to be up here. We've been saying this, like, I'm sure I'm going to be running some ads myself with this exact message. If you think this is going to end and you're going to go back to being the business you were before, you're dead. That's not what's going to happen. This is a new paradigm. You will not be the same afterwards. These are some of the reasons why. The consumer expectancy or expectations, that's the word I'm looking for, are not going to be exactly the same, and the actions and interactions are not going to be exactly the same. Even with your employees, it's going to be a little bit different. You're going to be a new version of yourself. One of the ways you're going to be a new version is you've just proven you can be online. Why would you not be online afterwards? So if you are just filming your Zoom classes with all the tiles and the sound is crappy and stuff, that is absolutely fine for right now to get yourself up and going. It's absolutely fine for your live classes where you're interacting with the class in real time. That's the advantage of that. But the recording of it, if we put it in the context of a year later from now, it's kind of less exciting. So how do you start to improve that situation? Start to get some actual bank of sort of video on demand classes and different assets that are going to be valuable for you then. Number two, start building other assets that hold value for the long run. So if you've ever thought like, I'd love to run a podcast, cool, dude, do the research right now and start like bullet point out your first 10 episodes, even record your first 10 episodes right now during this time. Podcast would be a great idea for you to launch. Now is a good time for you to get that stuff organized, and it's going to hold value moving forward. You could launch it right now and have it be talking about things that are taking place right now, and then just keep it going afterwards. The one that no one's talking about is vlogging. Now, this might be way the heck out of the box for some of you guys, so don't let it stress you out. I'm not saying vlogging is going to make or break your business. What I'm suggesting is, Megan, that Megan, as beautiful as she is, Megan and I go way back, my friends, could walk around vlogging about what she's doing in her business right now, and people are watching stuff. So you might get an organic following. I'm not talking about millions of people, but the truth is, if you're running a vlog as a business, you don't need millions of people. You need like 1,000 people who live in your market. That's a great vlog. That would be enormous engagement. So vlogging would be something that you could start now, because people want to know the comeback story. So they want to see what you're doing right now and how you're strong and how you're being demonstrative of the power of your product, and then how you're going to ramp back up and again, rise like a phoenix from the ashes. It's like my favorite statement the last 48 hours as well here. So that's just something to consider. And then the other one is blogs. Now, if you've been in the Yogapreneur Collective, we've been talking about content domination through Q1 and how that's one of the powerful actions that you can take so that you build real brand in your area, because brands have longevity versus just a quick flare and then a death, which is what we see happen in the wellness world all the time. So instead, you start building things that are going to build brand. Blogs are way more powerful than people give them credit for. So I'm not saying if you launch a blog, you're going to get a ton of people reading it right now. But what I'm saying is blogs are content that lives on and can be recycled multiple times and can position you. And in the action of writing a blog, you've got to think, if you write one blog about one subject, the action of writing that blog just created a script for a video for you, and like 10 social media posts you can cut out of it. You can atomize a blog down into all these other things. So if you're a writer and you like writing, especially if right now, here's the truth. I know Maria, one of our coaches, she's a writer. I think, Maria, if you're on, correct me if I'm incorrect on this, but like, it's therapeutic to write if you're a writer. So you got something to say, you've got writing to like write right now, write it all out, get your blogs up and ready to go. You can launch them now, or you can schedule your blogs to get released every couple of weeks after this as well. This is all content stuff that is going to show hyperactivity in your business and signify to your local market that you're not only just open and trying to hold on, you're open and going for it. You're the it place. You're the party, right? Which restaurant do you want to go to? The one with the lineup around the block, you got to wait 25 minutes, or the one that's empty? Even if you're starving, you're going to wait that 25 minutes. So you want to go to the party. Which club do you go to? The one where there's a dude standing outside smoking a cigarette and nobody else, or the one with a huge lineup to come in? Not that I've been to a club anytime recently, but you know what I'm saying. All right. Create a reopening strategy. So the other thing is, don't wait till you're like, oh, we just heard we're allowed to reopen, we better get organized. I would get organized now. So do it in a non-stressful way. Spend 1 day per week, 2 hours on that day, let's say. I'm just giving a random example here. 2 hours per week, starting now, start mapping out what your reopening strategy is going to be. Are you going to have a special sale? Is there a special event that you plan as part of this? That could be cool. The big food for thought here is that if it's me, disrupt the market. What will be the most disruptive thing you can do when you reopen so that all the attention goes towards you? That's what I'm looking at. Those of you in the Yogapreneur Collective, FYI, our entire like Q2 bi-monthly webinars, we do 2 webinars a month. We're going to be talking about this, the like epic reopening strategy so that you win. So that's going to be a lot of the focus, but start planning on that now. And then the other thing is, I think that this is highlighted for a lot of us, how we haven't previously been paying attention to a lot of our contracts, our legal stuff. Because all of a sudden we're like, oh, I got to have IP, and I got to have this other waiver has to have this updated. And what about my employees or my teachers? Or are they a subcontractor versus an employee? Like, all of that's been thrown in our face. So, don't go incur a tremendous amount of legal fees or something figuring this out right now. But I would start working towards, when you reopen, everything is up for grabs. This is almost like this weird opportunity, in my opinion, that's like a rebrand. When you rebrand, you can kind of just do whatever you want, and people are just like, oh, it's new. This is what's happening. I would say that this is one of those moments in time too. When you reopen, You can reopen with a new schedule. You can update your teacher contract stuff. So you can make people re-sign a waiver. You can change your pricing. Like, all of that is up for grabs, and people aren't going to complain about it. You don't have to worry about the fallout. It's just going to make everything new and exciting. So if any of that stuff needs to get dialed in, start getting prepped on that. Now would be a good time for it. If you've laid off all your teachers, or if you've fired all your teachers, let them all go. Or if they're independent contractors and you've just said, yo, like, I've got no work for you right now, when they come back in, they're joining back in. Like, if you need to update something, fix something, renew something for your actual contractual agreement with them, that's the time to do it. So get that stuff prepped, ready to go. Final thing, new cleaning protocols. One thing, I know for sure, I've got to say, like, the number of gyms and studios and yoga studios and places I've been into that are, in all honesty, like, they're just straight up dirty. They are dirty. Would blow your guy's mind as a traveling yogi. Like, there's a difference between a place being neat, like it's tidy, but it's dirty. So I'm telling you right now, that's never been acceptable. But I would get very real with your cleaning coming out of this, that the public will notice, and their subconscious mind is on super stress mode for cleanliness. I would even go so far as to say there are some interesting cleaning products and protocols that maybe haven't always been implemented. You can get like medical cleaning companies to come in at a certain frequency and spray your place so that it's technically clean, and they give you a little plaque to put on the wall. You can have things like ozone machines or black light filters and stuff like that. Anything like that that's within your means to sort of upgrade as part of your cleaning. And then I would publicly tell people that that's taking place. I think that's beneficial. Because if you publicly tell me that there's this cleaning company that comes in on top of your regular cleaning and these huge filters that are going in, that's not necessarily going to make me come to you specifically. But the fact that you've said that you do it is going to make me question, do the other guys do it? And that's the competitive advantage that's going to be there. This place I know does it because they told me and it's here. That place, I have no friggin' clue what they do. So that could be helpful as well. Also, just you want your place to be clean, period. So, all right. And then the final couple of things here for getting ready for the future, get your team ready. So we talked about the contractual stuff, but like, your team is the extension of you. So whoever your employees and contractors and stuff are, as you start to move towards the reopening time, you can't really schedule your staff meeting right now, obviously, but what you can do is tell them, you guys, heads up, like, we're going to be having the most epic staff day coming out of this that you've ever experienced in your life. You're going to spend 6 hours with me. It's going to be awesome. Don't worry. It's going to be fun. I'm giving you the heads up that, like, you need to come to this. And on that day, you're going to tell them, here's our strategy. This is what's going on, blah, blah, blah. Give them all like a gift card to go get a coffee. Let them all get a new pair of shorts from your boutique. And then spend a couple of hours of time, like, get them hyped up, get them back on board because here's the thing. People are going to come out of this and be like, okay, it's over. And then that's for the public, the exhale moment. That's when they're going to be like, oh, okay, we made it through. Like, now I'm going to just shut down for a second. Right? If your staff does that, then you're not the exciting place. So when everyone else is like, oh, I'm feeling a little bit low because we've just come out of this and I'm trying to get my feet back under me, that's when you and your staff, in terms of their interaction with the public, has to be high. So you need to get them hyped up at that moment. Because again, if I come back and do a yoga class with you, and then a friend takes me to a HIIT class over here, and at the yoga studio, everyone's like, hey, welcome back. I'm glad you're coming to move your body and stretch. And I go to the HIIT place and the music's pumping and they're like, yo, welcome back. Let's get your booty burning. Like, which one are you going back to? Right? I don't know why I had that accent right then. Don't worry about it. All right. Second thing, plan your member outreach. This is going to be very powerful. So we've talked about, and especially in our last meeting on Tuesday, how you can position your pricing strategy so that you're holding on to members in a way that's going to allow you to have more people on the back end of this, and that will let you ramp up faster. So that's awesome. the two member groups I would focus on is anyone who's got a virtual membership with you as a result of this, anyone who's stuck with you. I'm serious. Like, you have the time, you have the energy to do it. Dig deep. Phone every single one of them. Phone them twice a day until you get them on the phone. Like, this is one of the times where this human to human, if I pick up the phone and you're like, hey, this is LaDonna, and I'm just calling you to say that we're reopening on this date. But more importantly than anything else, thank you so much for sticking with us during this time. And I'm really inspired by your commitment to your health and well-being. We really appreciate you. We'd love to have you come for our members only class. That's the night before we actually officially open back up. That can go a really long way. You're not asking for anything. You don't have to give them anything special necessarily. You might do a special class or something. It's just show them that, like, this did not go unnoticed. Everyone is the hero of their own journey. In their mind, them continuing to pay your membership and support you, they're being a hero. And they are. Great. Celebrate that. Other than that, text, email, send a love letter, hand write a bunch of letters. You could prep the letter right now. They all say a similar thing. Just don't sign the name onto it until that moment, and send them all out so that 2 weeks after they all get a letter that says you're awesome. Like, anything like that. So the member group who stuck with you, and then the second member group is anyone who is canceled, anyone who's been a member in the last year prior to this moment, but specifically anyone who ended up opting out or canceling during this time because they couldn't afford it, because it wasn't their jam, whatever else. Get those people back. So contact all of them at a pretty high frequency coming out of this. That's your member outreach. They're going to be the people who are most likely to get back in the fastest. As a total tangent on this, we're not going to go into the hyper details. If you keep good records right now, look, when this person canceled, it was canceled during the pandemic. They told me straight up they canceled because they lost their job and they don't have any money. Even when everything opens back up, they're still not going to have money for a minute. So if you have a good record of those specific people, those are the people that you ring up or text or email, and you give them specifically a unique behind-the-scenes special offer. Hey, I know that you had to cancel. We've got to get you back in here. Your first month is free. Just get back in here. Like, you just want to be the place that gets them all in the long run. Quick thought. All right. Now, a couple of, this is a little bit off center for where we are here, but I wanted to make sure I had a slide to remind myself to go into this. What do you do with ClassPass? What about Mind Body Online stuff that's happening right now? So Mind Body Online is in their beta. They're about to launch their video on demand stuff right now. There are actually two versions of it. I made a little video for a group on how to use one version. It's not actually the ultimate one that they're going to be doing. To be really clear, at this point, the iteration of the Mind Body Online virtual platform is basically so that you can put it behind the paywall of Mind Body and have the normal controls you would have. That's really the only reason. Other than that, there is no specific advantage. So just FYI, I don't know. I'm like not pro or con. It's going to grow over time. They're going to develop live streaming with it, all of this. They've just crammed their 12 months of development into about 3 weeks. So it's a pretty down and dirty up and going thing. It's going to roll out the announcement this week. They're going to roll it out in waves to make sure they don't crash their system. So there's no way to tell who's going to get it first. It's not like a country by country necessarily or anything like that. The bottom line is we don't know when it's going to get to you exactly. You could get it today or tomorrow. You might not get it for another week from now. We don't know. Heads up. I don't know. Just so you know. ClassPass. A lot of you were asking about ClassPass. I got like 4 emails on this in the last 48 hours. ClassPass is doing this thing, right, where you go to their virtual app and you can do a virtual class. And if you as a studio participate by uploading your virtual classes there, they're claiming that they will give you 100% of the proceeds of that class. So the question is this a good idea? If you have nothing up and going and you're already on ClassPass and you understand that system, it could be a good idea. Is it good marketing for you? Well, kind of. But I'm going to be brutally honest. ClassPass ticks me off normally in how they do business. Right now, 100% or not, there's two really important details. One, we're getting reports of their new system not being refined. So you need to personally track anyone who's participating in ClassPass stuff with you, because we're seeing that ClassPass is just straight up not paying out as they're supposed to be right now. Not because it's malicious, but because they developed their system to allow for this really quickly. It's not perfected yet, so there are some hiccups. So be warned. Number two, it's an ingenious assholery business play, in my opinion, that they're doing. So I applaud that it's genius in its certain elements. But what they're trying to do is to get you to convince your students to go join ClassPass to take your classes. That's the play that they've got here. And the payout is not based on what you charge. The payout is based on their membership with ClassPass, which then you don't have the payment control. So I don't like it. If it's me and I'm not on ClassPass, if you're not already on ClassPass, I'm not signing up for it right now. That's the truth. If you're already on it and you already have members of ClassPass, you might leverage it. My debate point would be, let's say you have in the last year, you can pull the report in your system, 100 individual people who came in off of ClassPass. I would directly contact those people and be like, yo, get this special deal for our virtual membership right now, and just try to take them from ClassPass. That would be my play. And other than that, this might be an opportunity for some of you to get out of ClassPass altogether. They're panicking because if they don't do this right now, they're not going to survive on the other side, because you're actually their product. Final note, there's been a hiccup in ClassPass's system, so check this as well. When someone signs up in ClassPass for your classes, you don't necessarily get that person's name and email. Data collection is unbelievably important now and moving forward. So if that's true, you need to check on this stuff. So anyways, that's my rant on ClassPass. The question's been coming up. I wanted to make sure we addressed it. I'm not a proponent. Final things. We said this in the last meeting. Dude, I'm getting emails that are like, I don't know what to do. What about this? Who do I talk to? I need a recommendation. What are studios solving for this? You're not alone. Join the Yogapreneur Collective. It's pretty straightforward. $125 a month, no minimum anything. You get our resource library, our 2 times per month webinars, which we go super deep on these things, access to one-on-one coaching calls, and our private Facebook group, which is bananas right now. The best sounding board you're ever going to have. Just this month, Mara gave me the stats, 430 plus posts, 3,700 plus responses, 50 plus videos just this month alone. So it is like the #1 sounding board place for you guys. And who do we take? I know it says Yogapreneur, any class-based business. We talk a lot of yoga because we're yogis. Any class-based business. We have some HIIT gyms in there. We got some Pilates, stuff like that in there as well. So just know that the option is there. The reason why I'm pushing on this, besides obviously it's how our whole membership system works, is no one should come out of this and be like, I was alone and didn't have access to resources or help or accountability or coaching or a community, because that's not true. You do have access to it. So, okay, let's change to Q&A here, you guys. I know we're right at the hour. I'm going to stay on. This is our last one for the moment. So I'm not too worried about time. If you got any questions, we're going to shoot for it right now. Let me jump into the chat. Okay. Oh man, we've got all sorts of stuff in here. Okay, you can also, I've made it so you guys should be able to unmute yourselves and just blur the question out. If you want to do that as I'm trying to find a question here, please go ahead and do so. It's no problem whatsoever. Later to schedule posts, yes. I don't know how to schedule my social media posts. Yeah, I mean, scheduling social media posts, you can do it right in Facebook, for example. You can also do it using one of these third-party programs like Later or Planoly. So that's for scheduling your posts. Back in the day, what we used to do is we just make the post, keep it in Google Drive, log in, and then just copy and paste everything over. So you could just do that as well. I mean, unnecessarily difficult. Home Hot Yoga is saying they've noticed more engagement in their posts if they post every 2 days. Is there something to that? Like people have more time to engage? Yeah, so this is a good question. When we're talking about engagement, when you post a post, the time that the post is up matters. The algorithm is looking at how quickly from the moment it's posted are there interactions. We have heard that detail goes so far as to like the minutes after it's posted. So if you post something and within the first 5 minutes, there are multiple shares, comments, likes, or whatever, it just starts bumping it up and it takes off. That's how you build virality for it. But that time lasts for this, I don't know the official amount, 24 to 48 hours, I would say. So that every 2 days is interesting because you could post something and it keeps getting interaction for 24 hours. So it stays in the normal cycle for people. And then it sort of starts to peter off. And right as it's petering off, your next post comes in and it's the one that picks it up. So the every 2 days might be, if you're experiencing good engagement with that frequency, I can see why that would be sensical, I guess would be the point. Yep. Okay, lots of stuff about music licensing. We've talked about that in another webinar, but yes, I mean, just keep yourself safe. No one wants on the back end of this to get some wonky music licensing cease and desists or whatever else that's going on there as well. Oh, another question. So Watkins too was asking about the pinning the screen right here. So if I click on myself and I pin my video, it makes mine show up front, versus if you spotlight a video, that lets that person be the one that everybody sees in Zoom. The other hack with Zoom, it's a little bit off kilter from that, but just Zoom hacks, is if you're trying to create a better recorded class, double team some classes. So if I'm working with Mara or with, I see Megan on my screen again here. So Megan is teaching the class. She's going to be the voice. So we go on Zoom in our own houses or whatever else. She's the voice. I'm the demonstrator. So we spotlight my video and I can stand back so that it gets the frame of me. You can see my whole body. Everything's good. And I just listen. I'm muted. Everyone's muted. I just listen for Megan. Megan gets to be right beside the microphone. So her voice sounds amazing and the sound quality is good. And so then the recording is a really quality voice and a really quality demo. You don't see everyone, but for a recording purpose, you don't need to see everyone. You just want that. So let's say you were running 3 classes a day right now. If you even just did 1 a day like that, right? Like you don't have to do them all, but you just do 1 a day because that's your strategy for creating a bank of stuff. That would be a good tactic. At the end of the next month, you're going to have 28 videos that are like pretty decent for all of your classes. That would be cool. So maybe talk to your teachers about that. The other potential hack that we've heard some people saying is working, I don't know, I haven't tried it myself, is to actually log in on your phone and log in on your computer and have the phone be the unmuted audio and have the computer be the pinned video. So even by yourself, then I can be this far away. You see me, but it's coming through my phone if I don't have a microphone. So I don't know. If you're by yourself and you're looking for other hacks, maybe play with that one, see if it works as well for Zoom. All right, let's jump down here a little bit more. Recycle your posts from Facebook to, yeah, Mara was just commenting like, can you recycle posts? Quick Facebook crash course rules of best practice, right? It's best for you to post organically to each platform, organically or native to that platform. So however I would normally consume something on the platform you're posting on, it should appear like that. I don't go onto Facebook to watch a 12-minute video, right? I'm in a scrolling, searching. I will, on the other hand, watch a 3-minute video, which is why Facebook is also promoting videos of that length. On Instagram, I can only go to a minute anyways, but actually if I'm scrolling tiles, videos are interesting on Instagram. They do get good engagement, but I'm looking for something that's more like visually, aesthetically pleasing, generally speaking. Whereas if I'm on YouTube, I'm not only willing to watch something for 10 minutes because that's why I'm on YouTube, I'm going to have the sound on instead of off. And I'm probably in an active state of searching. I'm actually typing in how to do this. What about that? I'm searching for something is more likely the way that I'm approaching it. So the subtle nuance of the post from one platform to the other, even if it's the same content, is a little bit different. That's the point here. So there's just quick best practices for it, but it doesn't mean you can't cross promote. All I would say is if you post the exact identical post on Google, Facebook, and Instagram on the same day at the same time, that kind of doesn't look awesome. So what would be better is you make one post, you tweak it slightly for each platform, plus or minus just 5% to make it seem better. And then you post it on Facebook today and schedule it for Tuesday next week for Instagram. And then you schedule it for the Tuesday following to go on your Google page. So you just space it out. And then you do that times all your posts. So you have a daily post per platform. But if I was to go to your Facebook page today, it would look different than your Instagram page. Eventually they'll catch on that that's happening, but then it just doesn't look like you've been lazy and you've just posted across all of it, right? So that would be a consideration. Okay, let me scroll down here a little bit. Paolo is asking, do you run an ad for 2 or 3 days only? No, ads are something I'd run longer. That's the other thing. An organic post, it has a finite amount of time, depends on the platform, but it usually has a little bit more of like a finite amount of time for it to be really valuable. An ad is different because it's just going to keep getting the payment is what's going to keep showing it to people. So you can run ads for a month of time, a quarter of a time, longer, depending on the specific ad and the funnel. We did have an online pricing strategy question. So Mike, make sure to go and watch our pricing webinar. We just did it on Tuesday. It's recorded. I put the link at the very top of the chat for where you can get all the webinars. The whole thing's on pricing. So go check that. But to really quickly just answer your question, online members and not lose your $100 members. Yeah, step one is don't cancel everyone. Just send them love letters and communicate with them. Step two is once you have your virtual pricing dialed in and you understand what it's going to be, still give people the option to be the hero and stay at your higher price. I think that more people than you think are going to actually do that as well. Third major consideration, again, because we've been talking about future stuff today as well, the major goal here, you guys, is cash flow now, yes, but equally or more important is what happens when this is over. How do you ramp back up quickly? So keeping someone on your membership paying you literally anything at all is better than a cancellation because they're in your sphere of influence and you would be able to get them back more likely afterwards. Yeah. Heather says, karma for them screwing us, talking about ClassPass. Yep, love it. Okay. Mary was just commenting, I think someone was asking about unlisted videos. If your videos are unlisted, the only way for the public to get to them is by sending them the link. Yes, that's true. The alternative, the one thing about, we're talking about YouTube, you guys, if you have a video on YouTube and it's unlisted, it can't be brought up in search. On the other hand, if you send me the link to the video, I could share that link with anybody. So you don't have maximum control with it. If you need maximum control, you're probably going to be looking at like Vimeo and a password protected video. What I would suggest though, is that might make sense to move towards that system based on our conversation today, that you're building something that's going to be an asset in a year from now. On the other hand, if you're just getting yourself up and running, if you're on this call and you're like, I'm just getting my feet under me, and you understand YouTube and the unlisted thing, great, good enough for right this second. Don't worry about it. You can turn that video off, make it private, make it public, delete it, move it, download it, and move it to somewhere else in the future. So just don't when we're talking best practices longer term, the caveat to the whole thing is just don't let it like pause you or stop you from taking action today. That's the only thing I would say. So YouTube and just chucking it up there is a pretty easy way to do it. Oh, Sam's going to send out some instructions. Love it. Yeah, contract. Oh, so the question is, in Canada, the eligibility for self-employed is you cannot work 14 consecutive days per month. Contract teachers now teach any online classes to be eligible. What are your thoughts? I'm not sure who this is. Maybe if you unmute yourself and just ask the question again, just for some clarification. This is actually important from a future-proofing standpoint. Is anyone still on that asked this question?
Yeah, Josh, it's me. It's Candice from Yoga 360.
Oh, yo, Candice.
Good. Yeah, like, so now everybody's, all my teachers are contract. And since they announced yesterday that anybody that has not worked 14 days, they are the only ones that are eligible for the self-employed $2,000 a month.
Yep.
Now they're all saying that they can't claim it if they are working and teaching online classes right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I hear what you're saying. It's always like this constant negotiation. This in the United States, you guys have similar stuff going on. Europe, same thing. So you got to check the specific eligibility. What I would say is it might mean that it's in your best interest to have them bank some videos. They film themselves for one day and they make 4 videos and give those to you to use, and you drip them out. So then they did not work for the 4 days in a row or 14 days in a row. They worked for one, and then you didn't have more work for them. So there might be a way to sort of unofficially fudge it, like to control that. Because the other thing that's tricky here is like, what I don't know the details. Some of it's still vague in Canada, for example, and in most countries. What constitutes you worked today? You taught 1 hour class. Is that working? Like, that's not a full job. That's not your full pay. So it might still be eligible. Obviously, consult with whoever you have in your repertoire to consult with, your lawyer or whatever. So a lot of this stuff is really developing in real time. That's a great question, though. Yeah. I think the bigger thing, Candice, that you're bringing to light for everybody is just, we need to know what the programs are available to us. There's going to be a lag in that sort of help coming to you as well. So you want to get on them kind of fast, and you don't want to accidentally kind of shoot yourself in the foot. Canada, as the example, they just announced like this eligibility for businesses and they'll pay up to 75% of the wages of the employees. And the finance minister straight up said, we're hoping you're going to rehire people. Yeah, right. Like, who's going to rehire a bunch of people if they are closed, right? So they're doing like the best they can. You want to sort of figure out what's going to work best in your area, for sure. Final thought with teachers, it goes a really long way to just bring the human element into this, my friends. Have a sit down, straight up talk with your teachers. Look, you guys, this is what I'm trying to do for us all to stay awesome and to keep helping people succeed. Here's what we do know. Here's the questions we do have. Express your concerns. Let's just talk about it. How do we come to something that's beneficial for everybody? I'm here to help you. Like, we're on the same side of the table. We're on the same side of this whole thing. We've got to help each other out. I think that goes an exceedingly long way. Yeah. Okay. Oh, Sam just put in how to do some virtual stuff in there. Yep. Note from the CEO. Yeah, they put a bunch of stuff out. Yeah, MindBody's been they've been pumping out a lot of content. It's pretty soft. It's a lot of softball content, but it's still good food for thought things to just like help focus you in. Thanks for posting it in there, Sam. Okay. Thrive is asking, as we move to a virtual pricing model at $50 per month, half of current membership at $100, what are your thoughts on a pay what you can option? Yes, I think it's a great option. So what I would say is there's a big difference. This is the same thing with free, right? There's a huge difference between being like, it's free, no one pays anything all of a sudden, and having a downsell for a specific segment of your people or for a specific group of your people who would benefit from it. Same as pay what you can. So my suggestion would be, here's the thing, you guys, too, and the public isn't going to see this. Everyone's kind of a little bit more self-centered than normal right now, which is understandable. So let's be empathetic about it. But at the same time, it's not like you're just push and go on your computer and teaching a class and saying, pay me $100 a month. Like, the amount of effort that you guys are putting in and the technology and figuring it out and the time and the scheduling and the staffing and all of that shit's still going on. You deserve to get paid for that. Bottom line. So the only thing that's kind of fucking it up in our minds has been that there have been a bunch of other online platforms that are so low in price, it skews our perspective of the value as a consumer. So don't even look at that stuff. Consider yourself. It's fair, is what I'm saying, for you to ask for money for this. That's what I'm saying. That being said, we're also at a time where this human element is very important. The self-centeredness of people might be that they're like, I can't afford $50 a month. So I would just have a downsell that if anyone goes to cancel and says, straight up, I lost my job, I'm scared, I don't have savings, I cannot pay you $50 a month. Okay, I'm going to play the long game with that person and say, I've got you, I hear what you're saying, I don't want to charge you $50 a month if that's going to put you out. That's going to steal groceries from you and your family. Don't pay me the $50. But I still think it's important for you to stay healthy. Now more than ever, I'm on a mission to provide that, and we want our community to stay together. What can you do? What's real for you? What's an option? I'll do whatever you like. What's up? That's where the pay what you can could be powerful. And then if they say like, I can pay $1 a month, you have to accept it. But that could be the strategy. Because to me, that's like that story of you helping those people, that's going to build your brand for the next decade. So to me, you can still add in the pay what you can and the human element. All I'm saying is there's a difference between it's like, just pay whatever you want randomly to the public. It's you don't maintain any leverage with that, and you don't give people the opportunity to really help support you. So I would not make it the public one. I'd make it a downsell one. Yeah. Adia's just posting to help out what she added for how to text everyone who's been on hold. Yep. Paula's just saying she's surprised a lot of her teachers are filing for unemployment and aren't interested in live streaming. Yep. I said at the start of this, you guys, I applaud your efforts of just taking action. Just even if you haven't done anything yet, you're like, I'm looking at my business. What are the next steps? And I'm going to start doing something with it. There is a surprising number of people who are just putting their head in the sand. That's it. And that's inclusive in the yoga world, in the wellness world, of the teachers and instructors. They're like, I was teaching for fun before, I'm independently wealthy, or my spouse is, or I'm retired, or whatever else. I don't need to teach to make money. I don't like technology. I'm out. Peace. Okay. So, I mean, and some teachers who even need it just aren't willing to help themselves. So I don't know. What I would say is just keep in mind that you are the accumulation of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. So I would be really focused on making sure that you're spending as much time as possible around people who are going to lift you up. Rising tide rises all ships. So that's important right now. So those people, I would just say, like, don't start a battle with anyone. If they're not in, let them go. The only secondary thought when we're talking, because we're talking future forward right now, I'm not like going to be an asshole about it, but if during this time you just totally leave us hanging and aren't part of it, I'm telling you right now that when we open back up and you come to me and say, I want to teach 4 days a week, I'm not just going to give you whatever you want. I'm not going to like punish you in some way, but I'm just going to say that, like, I'm going to prioritize the people who are part of my crew when it counts. That's all I'm saying. So people are going to, I don't know, create their own reality, I think, as part of this as well. Yeah, someone was just saying so many people are offering for free. Yeah, the people that are offering stuff for free right now, I think I understand their intention. I'm not knocking on them. I think that they're missing a bigger picture. I think that they're missing a bigger reality to what's going on. Now, if you're a studio that's offering stuff for free, just be aware that you can be offering stuff for free right now, and that might be a great marketing play for you. And then you can start charging. This, like we said at the beginning of this, if those of you came on late, like for most of us, we're looking at like June. This isn't over right now. So you could have been doing everything for free for the last 2 weeks, or a month for that matter, and then be like, cool, Now we're not doing any classes for free. We have free 1-minute tutorials, free 3-minute stretch, whatever else. But if you want our completely epic online classes, now you have to join our virtual membership.
Yep.
People will accept that. I don't think there'll be any issue. Most of those people have been doing it for free. That would be the play with the free model. The play with the free model is easy barrier of entry, get their contact, market to them, get them paying something. That funnel's been proven a bazillion times over. So, yeah. All right. How much editing would you recommend for the Zoom live videos? Oh, this is a great question. Thank you for asking. Recommend using these Zoom live videos later for on-demand library. Yeah, so I think one thing is there are let's say there's 3 levels to this, you guys. So level 1 is get friggin' anything up and going so people can keep paying you, all right? That's level 1. Level 2 is now let's up the ante and make the product better. So that might be that double teaming the Zoom or whatever else. So to answer your question, I'm not sure that a Zoom, like right now, if you guys have it on the tile setting and there's just all of us looking at each other, this is a great way. Like if I was teaching a yoga class or if I'm doing dance or something, I could see you and be like, oh, hey, Heather, this, hey, Megan, that, hey, Sam, whatever. Like we can interact human to human. That's the advantage of this. The problem is the recording of it is kind of shitty. So it's fine for right now, but the value of that in a year from now is not 0, but it's less than if we had a really nice shot, someone demonstrating really good, volume control of the sound. So step 2 is create some videos, maybe through using Zoom / just filming, that are just of a class and you have your basic quality level higher. So there's a clear demonstrator and there's clear sound. Those still don't really need much editing at this moment. Level 3 is let's produce some stuff. We're going to get lighting and mics and a backdrop and do the whole thing and do it pro. And that might require some editing there. So I would just say most of us are probably going to sort of organically go from level 1 to level 2. Some of us are going to end up at that level 3, let's produce some stuff. That level 3 might not even happen during this moment for you. So just be aware that if that's whoa, I don't think I'm going to go that far right now, or it's hard, or I don't have the gear, or I don't understand it. Cool, dude. Don't do it right now. Just have it on your radar that produce something decent that's going to amplify the value of your business for the next year. And then you've got a whole year of time to be like, okay, now we want to start producing some stuff and I'm going to learn these skills or get people to help me with it. So level 3 might not happen for a year from now for some of you. I don't know. Some of you are already there. I know we had Adi in here is posting and stuff too. Adi's already got a bunch of really pro quality stuff. She was doing it before. So yeah. So I would say just keep that in mind. In terms of editing in general, what I would say is beneficial for editing is a water drop. So it's branded. You can adjust sound volumes in editing and cutting out any lag, major lag stuff. So let's say you went on Zoom, you have 15 minutes that you go on before the Zoom class actually starts so that you can interact with people. That's a good idea. I would just take that recording and just cut that out so that when I push play on the recording, it just starts at the class. That would be an example of how you would do that. Adi was just saying we haven't had any live classes with people showing their screens. We ask them, but they don't. So, we get just good videos. Okay. But I missed the interaction. Is there a preferred way you think to do a mix? Yeah, that's exactly what I would say, Adi. I would purposefully try to mix it so you have some that are the interaction with some that are just a stronger recording. I think that both are beneficial, right? One's a little more right now beneficial and one's a little longer term recording beneficial. But the thing that I would say is in general for all of us, I didn't come to your Pilates, your yoga, your fitness studio before this all happened because you offer a yoga class. That's not the reason why. It's one of the reasons. But if I just wanted to do some stretching postures, why didn't I just go on YouTube for free? I don't need to come to you. I came to you because you're offering an experience. There's a human element. There's a community element. There's a curated environment Those were your unique leverage points. So any of those that we can translate into virtual are unique to the other online stuff out there, right? So if you can translate the interaction point, for example, during a class, that could be really powerful. So Adi, specifically for you, if you're finding like your community is just like scared to be on camera or something, you might have a class, like right now would be a great time for you to have fun themed classes anyways. And actually the last time I was at Adi's, I did a rage yoga class where like in the middle of the class, you scream swear words and they played heavy rock music and stuff. So much fun. I don't think I did a serious posture the whole time, but the class was awesome. And I'm telling you about it right now, which tells you that it was a good marketing play. So anyways, that aside, I digress. Themed yoga classes right now at this moment in time may be a good idea. So maybe if you're trying to get that to happen, you have again, you could double team it even. Jenna and I would randomly do like a Q&A class where two people would teach the class. One person would be teaching and the other person would be adjusting / correcting people in real time. You could do that right now on Zoom. Or you could be like, look, in the middle of this class, it's going to be, instead of 1 hour, it's going to be 90 minutes long. In the middle of this class, if you're like, I don't understand this posture, blurt it out. And we're going to do a real quick posture tutorial on it in real time right then. So like just theme a class, or even just say like this class, we're calling it an on-screen class. To participate in class, you must have your video on. If your video's not on by the 5-minute mark of this class, I will remove you from the class. You've got to be on the screen. And then interact, and like it's going to be a high interaction class. So don't just show up in your random pajamas, wear your yoga gear and be ready to go. You know, just make fun of it, but that might help to get people to sort of break the ice around all of this stuff as well. Yeah.
Can I just say something?
Please, Peggy.
My teacher, Amy, did the waiting room thing on Zoom.
Yep.
And the first she's done 3 live classes this week so far. All the women wanted to do was say hello to each other and laugh and talk, and they had a great time. And then when she calmed them down and she said, okay, all mics off, and she led the class. But I got a note from one of my students that says, thanks for all your efforts in producing online videos and online classes. These are tough times for small businesses, but you have created more than a business. You've created a wonderful, beautiful community of women. We will survive. That's what I got in the mail. So, yeah.
Love it.
Cool.
So 1, share that with your whole team. 2, read it every single day. If you have a win, like I know you all have win stories coming in. First off, thank you for sharing that, because that's like makes me so happy. That's because what the heck are we doing? Like, who got into this because they're like, you know what, this is a great business. Like, that's not, we might think that the business is cool, but like, that's not the primary motivation here, right? That's still true now. So, but I think the other detail here is, and this came up for me personally, even over the weekend, this isn't different than normal, but we're in a heightened state emotionally.
Mm-hmm.
Even normally in our business, you get one bad apple. Like, you might have 100 people paying you and happy and sending you love notes, and one person talks smack for 42 seconds and it like ruins your week. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So right now, I think we also have to be aware that like we're running a little higher steam, and we might have a couple people who are inadvertently extending their personal stress towards us as well. You need to shield yourself from that. Like, it's not your job to take it on. And one of the techniques for that is definitely to keep looking at your win stories. Like, wait, this is what I'm really doing. Like, this is why I'm doing this. So yeah, that's so awesome. Have you done like a cocktail hour or something, Peggy?
No, we've done some, well, I've watched a lot of your videos, and I did some really amateurish classes that I've recorded, but you said jump in, so I did, and hopefully they'll get better. And then Amy, who is my primary teacher, she has done some virtual classes. I'm doing my first virtual one on Saturday.
Awesome.
So we haven't done a cocktail hour or anything, but that's a good idea for my group of people, I think. Yeah, to do some sort of a social gathering.
Exactly. Yeah. I think in general for any studio, these are good ideas, but also there's this idea in business in general, my friends, that you do something and then you track the results of it and you let the results indicate what you do in the future. So
Yep.
this would be an indicator in this case that like people want that human-to-human interaction, totally understandable. So why not lean into it? It doesn't have to be every week or something, but just once, if you did a cocktail hour or something, that might just help to amplify the positive sentiment that you're already receiving.
I think so. Yeah, good idea. Thanks.
Cool. All right, let's just see here. Lydia was asking, can you have a host record and a host teach with gallery view to interact? Oh, yes, you can. Yeah, you definitely can, Lydia. So top right corner, you can switch between speaker view and gallery view. Whatever view you're on at as the host at the beginning of the meeting, that's what it's going to record as well.
Josh, can I just ask a quick question on that?
Yeah.
To go a little further, because I'm thinking, because I've been doing my virtual classes with the gallery view, because my style of teaching is very interactive, that with compliments and corrections, and that's what people know of my schools. But I also try to make that every compliment and correction is relevant for anyone. Like if it's, hey Josh, good right hip forward, then Susie goes, what's my right hip doing?
Yeah.
So it's relevant for everyone, not just the person, not just, hey, good posture. But then my recordings are all gallery views. But I'm wondering if I made one of my teachers the host, and they were recording it, and then I could still be teaching the class with the gallery view, or that might be exactly. So the view that's on your side of Zoom is what you see. The recording is of whoever's clicked record on their computer that's allowed to record. So that would be if you made them the host or the co-host. So that's fine. Yeah.
And then to your point, yes, then they would just like pin their video or spotlight their video so that they're the one that's doing. We were also saying you can make somebody else the spotlight video.
Yeah, so, I heard that.
Yeah, so then they're there, but usually on your side, you'd have to test this. There's still the bar of some other people.
Yeah.
So you can like actually look at it too. It's not quite as optimal as this, but yeah.
Well, I have a few classes set up next week to test my teachers as virtual teachers. So I think I'll try it with that, and if I learn anything, then I'll put the information out there.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. And then the other detail here is just, this is a time where we have to also for ourselves embody our awesomeness. You guys know your product. You know how to teach these classes. So even if it's like a little bit outside of the box of your standardized teaching style right now, if you're usually very interactive and that's been one of the tools that you primarily use, doesn't mean that you can't teach a class that you have zero interaction in. So if you're just like straight up recording, the major pieces of the puzzle that people need to know or that they struggle with, and you know how to verbally use those cues. So I would just say also just be confident in your ability to deliver your product as well. So yeah.
If you do a class like that, do you have to have waivers from all the people you're showing or some sort of permission?
Yeah, such a good question. I mean, the proper answer is yes. Yeah, your waiver should include a media release, right? Mm-hmm. That being said, it should be an easy sell to your members because it's like if you were in class together, you'd see each other. So it's not really different. The only difference is online makes people think things are different. They're like scared of it. / if you're going to like nest it on your website and someone who wasn't in the class could see it, that seems a bit odd for people. So I would say deal with the human beings first, but legally speaking, it would be intelligent to update and just say media release, IP release, that sort of stuff for sure.
Hey, Josh, and just to answer that question, in the back end of Zoom, you can set a setting that asks them to click OK that this is being recorded. So I don't know how much, but that'll cover something. So I turned that on.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't tested it yet, Adi. Maybe keep us posted on that too. My concern is if they say that they're not okay that it's being recorded, what happens? Does it block the recording for the whole thing or just turn their video off? What's the...
I don't think they get in. I don't know. Everybody's clicked OK.
Oh, maybe it just keeps them out altogether. Okay.
I don't know what it does.
Yeah, that's a really cool setting because you can also do settings where like everyone comes in muted or not. You can do settings where everyone comes in with video on or off, or it's an option like... one setting, just as a side note, because we're on the Zoom, thanks for sharing that, Adi. Because we're on the Zoom topic, definitely go into your settings and make it that only a host can share their screen, because Zoom bombing is like a real thing right now. Fortunately, I don't think, we're laughing, but like there's been some really nasty shit. So I don't think it's been anyone in our group at this point that I know of, but just be aware that that just eliminates that as an issue for you. So you can make it that only a host can share a screen. So, okay, we're gonna do maybe 2 more here, and then how do you do that? Rosa, you just go into zoom.us, go into your account and go into the actual settings section, and then there's a huge scroll of toggles on and off. It's worth, because we're using Zoom so much, it's worth going in there and looking at all of them, so you know what's available to you as well anyways. So you only have to do it once, and then it's your setting and you're good to go. Home hot yoga, Kay was just saying, it's really easy to crop it off. They're talking about making the screenshot look better. I mean, I guess in general for video editing, for those of you who haven't done much video editing before, if you have a Mac, you have iMovie on your computer already for free. It does a lot. So you can start there. If you don't have a Mac, go get a Mac. No, I'm just joking. But if you don't have a Mac, we recommend Adobe Premiere's Rush. I think Mara, what does it cost? You have to pay for it, don't you?
Yeah, you do. I think it's like $30 a month or something like that. Like, it's really affordable. It's not super expensive, and it's really easy to use too.
Yeah. So those are our top recommendations if you're going to do some self-editing stuff as well. And if you're wondering, like, hey, how do I get a tutorial on how to edit on iMovie? I could definitely make you one, but honestly, go on YouTube and there's about 580,000 15-year-old kids who know everything about editing stuff on iMovie. They're like, it's insane what they're doing. So they're like doing like full-length feature productions in their mom's basement in between while they're skipping school. So okay. Awesome, you guys. I think that's it for now. Thanks for participating in these webinars. We're going to have the follow-up sent out to you with the course that we've put together with all the assets in there as well. Again, it's totally a pay what you can option. And we'll include all of these recordings in there as well. In with these recordings now, and especially in with the people who are going to be joining the course, there's also like email templates, downloads, stuff like that. So just if you're like, I'm still feeling really overwhelmed and I need some of this stuff, there's more coming as well. So
Great.
Final thought, if you're like, I need to be part of a community, jump in the Yogapreneur Collective. There's no risk to you because 48 hours notice for cancellations. There's no minimum anything. So jump in and see if it's a fit for you or not as well. Other than that, much love. Stay strong. Keep saving the world. You guys are awesome.
Thank you.
All right. Talk to you soon. Peace.
Thank you.